You put how much of our money into that fake space money?
That's my best impression of my wife many years ago when she found out I first started investing a whole bunch of money into cryptocurrency and specifically Bitcoin at that time. To this day, she still jokingly calls it space money, although she now understands it much better than she did before. And today I want to help you do the same thing. Just give you a very simple explanation of what it is, also talk about why it's valuable and why it's not going anywhere. So let's waste no time. Let's start with when Bitcoin started, and let's also talk about how much the value has increased since it started. Bitcoin was started in January of 2009, either by a programmer or a group of programmers. They went by the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Their identity is still unknown. Now, the first value of Bitcoin is said to be 0.001 cents. That is like 1/10 of a penny. This amount came from tracking the first transaction that was not from the founder. And it was 5,050 Bitcoins for $5.02 through PayPal. Considering the price of Bitcoin right now, which is a little bit above $50,000 at the time I'm shooting this, if you invested just 1 penny in Bitcoin at that time, it would be worth $500,000 right now. If you invested $1 in Bitcoin at that time, it would be worth $50 million. That's an extreme jump. And Bitcoin has outperformed every other asset class ever by far. And here's a chart showing how much Bitcoin has outperformed the other best performing assets like Berkshire Hathaway, Amazon, Google, Walmart, Microsoft, all destroyed by Bitcoin. So how did Bitcoin do this? And is this all just some big Ponzi scheme? I think we first need to start with a simple explanation of what Bitcoin actually is and how it came about. This will help you understand why Bitcoin is so valuable. We will also go into things like how Bitcoin is different from things like Venmo. Bitcoin is a digital currency. Many people actually call it digital gold. If you've ever done the research on the history of money, you would understand this saying much better. Gold and other precious metals have a history of keeping financial systems stable throughout history. Typically, when empires or countries leave a gold standard, so to speak, or money that is backed by gold, the financial system collapses. We'll get back to this point just a little bit later on, but let me finish explaining the basics of Bitcoin first. There's also only 21 million Bitcoin available ever, so it's scarce. You can send it anywhere in the world in minutes for a very cheap price. And the one last most technical thing, but I'll break it down for you, is decentralized and uses a technology called the blockchain. So decentralized really means that there is no owner. The US dollar is very centralized, so it's totally controlled by the government and central banks. This gives them the power and takes the power away from the people. A decentralized money like Bitcoin gives the power back to the people as they don't have to rely on the government or the banks for the money flow. The blockchain part is important because that's the technology that makes everything possible with Bitcoin and other digital currencies. The blockchain acts as a public ledger. Once a transaction is written in it, it can't be changed or erased, making it very trustworthy. And the cool thing is everyone can see this ledger, so it's transparent and it's fair, but at the same time, it keeps your personal details private. It's not super important to understand exactly how it works. That comes with time. But it is important to understand that Bitcoin is decentralized and it uses a distributed ledger. This means that no one person or group controls it and that everyone can see all transactions. It's still private though because your name is not used, digital keys are used. So on the other hand, dollars and other fiat currency is centralized, which means they are controlled by a group of people. And they use a non-distributed ledger, which means only they see all of what's going on with the transactions, not us. If you aren't aware, the United States was taken off the gold standard in 1971. That means we became 100% fiat currency at that time. The major problem with this is that if there is nothing backing a currency, like gold for instance, it can be printed at will. If the government can just print as much money as they want, since nothing needs to back it, it debases the currency. In simple terms, it makes it less valuable. This is where inflation comes in, that thing we're all experiencing right now. And inflation at its core is a hidden tax. It's really a sneaky way for the government to tax people without them knowing it. And this all becomes possible from having a currency that has nothing backing it. Financial systems that have been backed by gold over the last few thousand years have flourished. Now, on the other hand, financial systems that leave the gold standard and go to 100% fiat currency, or nothing backing it, have fallen every single time. Fiat currencies have a 0% success rate. That is one of the many reasons it's so important to have money that has some type of value behind it. Gold has been seen as a credible source of money for thousands of years because it is scarce, durable, divisible, and portable, among many other things. People call Bitcoin digital gold or gold 2.0 because it's all these things. But many people argue that it's better. It's more scarce, it's more portable, it's more divisible, it's more convenient, and arguably, it's more durable. We're in a totally new age of technology, which scares some people, but all the above is actually true. And if you actually understand money and know about the history of money, Bitcoin makes complete sense. It's just scary because it's new technology. It's unfamiliar. Same thing happened with the internet when it first came about, right? But like always, people adjusted to the technology, and now the internet has evolved like crazy. This is no different. This will evolve. It will only get better. For a long time, the saying was Bitcoin is either going to over $1 million per coin or it's going to zero. Well, early in 2024, the first ETFs were approved. This means that Bitcoin is almost certainly not going anywhere. Institutions are buying enormous amounts of Bitcoin, and we are running into supply shocks. If Bitcoin was going anywhere anytime soon, BlackRock, who is the largest asset manager in the world, would not be buying billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So should you invest into it? That's totally up to you. My goal here is just to help you understand it a bit better, and I hope I did my job today.